Hi. Hi everyone, on today's episode is about... Hey, ever been there? Just peacefully strolling along the coastline, engrossed in a round of Fortnite on your smartphone, living your best life. Then bam! Out of nowhere, a horde of smooth-skinned zombies from Detroit crashes the party, aiming to turn your skull into their personal pincushion. So, what's your survival plan when you don't have the luxury of the Second Amendment? Besides hoping your high score intimidates them, of course. Fear not, fellow viewers. Today, we embark on an in-depth exploration of crafting cutting-edge lawmakers from scratch. We'll delve into the intricacies of gun mechanisms, primarily divided into two components in modern weaponry: the straightforward slam-fire gun, and the ubiquitous hammer-fire, widely employed in contemporary firearms. Let's start with the slam-fire gun. In this design, the bullet rests inside the chamber, while the firing pin is affixed to the stock. When the chamber is swiftly pulled back, it forcefully strikes the primer of the bullet, initiating ignition and firing the projectile. Replace the bullet, and the process is repeated. Next, let's discuss the hammer-fire gun. This firing mechanism is notably complex, especially in today's weaponry landscape where 3D design and modern machinery play significant roles. As a regular YouTuber, I'm compelled to ponder simplifying the process. After studying bolt-action guns, I've realized that the mechanism is akin to the workings of a clicky pen, something we use every day. This design simplifies the process, making it more relatable to real-life bolt-action rifles. Behold the parts I've redesigned, inspired by real-life bolt-action rifles. These components boast a complexity surpassing that of slam-fire guns. Central to the mechanism is the spring, vital for imparting kinetic energy to propel the bolt, housing the firing pin. Moreover, a trigger mechanism enables bolt release. Firstly, pulling the bolt handle engages the locking mechanism, stretching the spring and storing kinetic energy. Then, upon triggering, the lock disengages, launching the firing pin into the primer. Repeat the process. So, fellow viewers,
do you think what I'm thinking?
If you think of a bullet, then that's the correct answer. If the gun is the heart of the weapon, then the bullet is, well, let's just say it's the intestines. The bullet is made up of several different parts. Firstly, the projectile, a flying dart. Next, the cartridge cover, sturdy and tight. Then the primer, igniting the fight. Last but not least, the gunpowder's might. That's the bullet song you all should burn to your memory. In the making of gunpowder, the first ingredient you need is charcoal. Then, add sulfur to give it that little oomph. Finally, you'll want to add YouTube nitrate or saltpeter. Ready it in the ratio of 4:4, crush it, and mix it together. If you want to know whether it's working, just test it with fire. Next is primer. Primer is a material that when struck with force, such as by a hammer, will create a spark. For the material, we can use a relatively common pop cracker. The gravel and sand in the pop cracker are actually coated with a thin layer of silver fulminate. Silver fulminate is a very sensitive contact explosive, and the other one, we can use irregular matches. Since silver fulminate is very hard to dissolve and can explode under its own weight, I just used the matches and disposed of the pop's cracker haphazardly. A regular match contains antimony trisulfide, potassium chlorate, and white phosphorus, while the match striker paper contains powdered glass and red phosphorus. When you strike a match, the white phosphorus acts as fuel, and the powdered glass helps gain enough friction with the red phosphorus, igniting the match. Just crush it into fine powder. Now we already got the powder from the match, now it's time to scrape off materials from the match striker paper. Alright, let's mix these compounds we gathered in a 4:6 ratio. 4 parts fuel, 6 parts friction. Give it a little stir, and voila, we've got ourselves a primer. It's like cooking, but with more explosions. Last but not least is the cartridge cover. You can use anything as long as it's hollow steel. For this one, I just used a regular air-cut copper tube, cut it, and it should be hollow like this. Thin copper is usually very soft. To harden it, simply heat it and then dip it in water. Finally, for the projectile, you can use any steel. Reshape it to fit your hollow using an angle grinder, and you should have 2 parts, the projectile and the hammer. Using all the parts we have made, assemble them like this, and they should reconfigure like this. And now we have ourselves a frickin' bullet. With our new lawmakers, we're finally ready to defend ourselves against the Detroit zombies. That is, unless you forgot your gun only holds 1 bullet, and your trigger discipline is like a toddler with a juice box. But hey, at least when the zombies crack open your skull, they'll be disappointed to find it's emptier than your dad's love. Please like, subscribe, and share. Do not let my sacrifice be in vain.